Okay, we're here at SUPboarder HQ and we have got a new toy. This is the Starboard Ace Foil inflatable. Just been released and we're going to unpack it and give you some feedback. I've got Gavin here who's going to help, and we're going to go through it, see what we can show you.
Cool. So initially we've got package size. We've got a 92 centimetre mast, which is about as long as you want for wing foiling / downwinding, which will still fit in. And obviously the wing will fit in as well. So everything's going to fit into one bag.
That's pretty cool, because that's a 92 centimetre mast. That's epic. It's like new board day. Does this make you excited?
It does. It's always interesting to sort of see how they go around things, how they sort of how it packs up and how everything's put together, really.
Really interestingly, it's actually still January. This board hasn't been released yet, but by the time the video released, it will have been released. And this board literally just came off a plane from Thailand as it is. So this is one of the pre-productions. We've just got a little friend. Hello, mate. So yeah, that just shows that's just come from Thailand. Thousands of miles to come to us. And it's packed up pretty well, isn't it?
Yeah, quite interesting, this sort of long rail savers down the side.
What do you think, mate? Cool. So this has got this board has got the through board system. So the mast attaches directly to the top plate.
To the top plate, yeah.
Which I believe is aluminium, might be carbon. We'll have to find out when the board gets released.
Looking through where the foot plugs are, it does look like they bottom out into aluminium, so I think it might be an aluminium plate, if you say. The plate comes all the way.
So good
length. Yeah, the whole standing area is
like
where the plate
3
is.
3 foot or something?
Yeah.
And that's what limits how small the board will fold up.
Yeah, because that's your fold line is there.
Yeah, and you've also got some side bits to help you. I think that'll help with stability. That's a bit like on the airlines, isn't it?
So like on the airlines, yeah. I think when you're paddling it like you would a regular sort of SUP, so you're not in surf position but parallel stance, I think that's going to give you a bit more control, sort of stability side to side, which I think also will help with these edge rails as well. They'll just grip the water a little bit more and channel it through.
So why would you be interested in one of these, Gav?
I think for me, obviously I've got a van, but also sometimes I go somewhere with a car, and at the moment I haven't got a roof rack for the car, so I can't, with a rigid board, both SUP and also downwind board, I can't fit them in the car. So I can only do, like, it's really hard to make it one way. If like Lisa, if I start one area, my partner then picks me up the other area, we can't get the board in the car.
Yeah.
And this is very collapsible, so you can.
Yeah. And I guess it all comes down to what's the compromise of how it paddles, how easy is it to use. Yeah.
Also travelling as well. So like if you're doing a foil camp, those sort of things. And also one of the downsides of downwind foiling is it's generally speaking a one-way trip somewhere. And unless you're going out with a team of people, that one-way trip is really hard to get back again. Where this, because it's collapsible, you could realistically take it all apart and then get on a bus, get on a train, get a taxi. You can actually get back to the start without having to do the whole shuttle thing, which for me that would be almost the biggest appeal, I think. I know also, yeah, flying with it I think will be really good. So you can go to somewhere where there is, because in the UK we're developing and discovering more and more downwind runs, but if you went somewhere like Fuerteventura or Tenerife or somewhere like those sort of areas where there's really good runs, established runs that you can go to, travelling with that would be so much easier than an 8-foot board.
I'd be potentially looking at that. I could SUP surf foil it, I could downwind it, and I could flat water paddle it up. So
yeah,
could we take that away as our holiday toy when we've got limited amount of space and do multi-sport? So is this this is the new crossover potentially?
Potentially, yeah. I think also, yeah, winging would be really good with it as well. I think that'd be sort of one of those days aren't working, you can just go out on a light wind wing. I think it would work potentially would work really well for that as well.
So four in one. But we're probably not going to do anything today.
Not quite
because
optimal today.
It would be a bit muddy, but let's get it set up, shall we? See how easy it is to set up, see what it looks like when it's inflated.
You can also see where they've used it.
So we're just trying to figure out how to make it work, and it's got these special bolts or nuts, sorry, that sit into these grooves on the EVA. And this is pre-production, this board, but it does look like these instructions are wrong because it suggests that that goes the other way up, doesn't it? But,
yeah.
From memory, this is how the last one we did of this model worked. So we get the mast into its little jacket before we do any inflation.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was just saying as well, you could potentially do with this base plate, because the mast is held in with these barrel connectors.
Yeah.
So you could potentially just leave the base plate on and just take the mast off.
That is a good observation. Good reason to use the starboard foil, I guess.
I think there's... Oh no, they can't actually. No, there's bottom lugs as well. But with the sub foil cracking, you could do that. But
yeah,
I think cross hybriding.
Fiddly foil work.
Fiddly foil work. I think once you got it used to it, I think you'd be alright. Just trying to get the track nuts at the right angle underneath the board.
I guess with this, they need to be the right length, because otherwise you're going to end up with thread sticking out.
Yeah.
Which would be
you have thread sticking out.
Really good for your feet.
Yeah, not ideal.
It's all about the process, isn't it, with this?
Yeah, I think with any sort of system or process, you just need to do it a few times to find out the best way to get that done, really.
So just because it's fiddly initially doesn't mean that it's bad, it just means that you've got to get used to it.
Yeah, just get used to it. Like every piece of equipment I've ever used, it just takes a bit of time to get used to how to store it, use it, set it up. Yeah, sort of different wings require different folding techniques, different boards require different processes to get set up. So.
The instructions say, do we tighten it now or do we tighten it later?
Okay, we'll cover the instructions now. We've got to tighten it now, I think, because next bit is to put the bung in to then inflate. So we need to get these cranked down now. The downside of this system is, again, once you've got it set up, I think it'll be fine. But when you don't know exactly where your mast needs to go in the tracks, if you think, oh, I've got too much lift and too much front foot pressure, too much back foot pressure, you want to move the mast, you've got to kind of deflate the board, take the bung out to move it on the track position.
I think what we learned from the wingboard, the inflatable wingboard, is that you can move it when the board is inflated, because you can still slide it. You can still slide it back and forth in this.
Yeah, it's more you need to get that out to take the screws. So if you can get,
I think it was the other way up on the last one.
The bolts would be on the top, which would make more sense. I think that might change if it's on the production model.
Yeah, we'll have to query that. Let's get the little bung in.
Little bungy worker. I think would be an easy process, but apparently it's not.
See, I'm not going to help because, you know, you'd always have to do it on your own if you're at the beach, wouldn't you?
Yeah, whilst you're foiling compadres at setting off to sea, you'll be setting things up.
So I think, in a way, it pops itself in as you get some air in the board.
Yeah, I think air.
This is, remember the last one we did? It actually was not too tricky to get together. Let's get pumping.
Let's get pumpy.
So just quickly, it looks like it comes with a nice set of foot straps. Nice bag as well, actually. Foot straps, and obviously we're going to have foot strap inserts on this nice aluminium plate. So that, makes it great to be able to be a crossover wingboard like that. You've got some nice looking constructions. They're sort of deluxe construction, isn't it? Looks pretty nice. well made, well finished. And this is just a pre-production model, so usually they are worse than production.
This is a 100 litre, so 610 by 21. So a similar size to we've tried in the Ace downforce.
It's a bit wider, isn't it? But then it is inflatable, so you'd expect it to need to be a bit wider for the same thing. 100 litre carbon plate. We're just sort of massaging it together.
Finessing. As we thought, as we started to put air in it, you just fill it out, so sort of.
My first impressions is that it's got a lot of rocker.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think inflatable boards do need quite a lot of rocker because otherwise they'll just nosedive, but I would expect that's going to make it paddle less well in a straight line, but we'll see. We can't really make any conclusions till we get on the water. But you've also got the handle on the bottom here. I think it's really good to have handles on downwind boards. Obviously that's going to have a little bit of drag, but it'll make the whole thing a lot more usable.
I did the valve thing right, that's good.
That looked embarrassing, wouldn't it?
I mean, not very strong rep.
So this is quite cool. Like, what I really like about this, now it's pumped up, is being able to see this. It's not flexible, it is hard. Like, it sort of feels like a nylon edge release all along the side of the board, which is really going to help in a couple of ways. It's going to help the board go in a straight line because you've got a rail that will help that for sure, and it's also going to help it release. Obviously it limits how much you can fold it up, does it?
No, because the fold lines were where the plate is, which is here, so it's
so this still folded, did it?
It folded, and then the rear fold lines here. So
oh yeah, so they've managed to make it flexible enough to go to be able to fold, but nice and long on the board. And it's cool because it stops up here, which I think will stop when those touchdowns happen. It'll stop it catching, hopefully, because that's something to consider. That hard edge can cause it to catch as the board comes down. Important in downwinding for sure.
It'd be interesting with the balance points. The foil's not on yet, so
yeah. Let's get the foil on.
Bit back heavy, but obviously the foil's not on, so having the front wing on will hopefully balance it up nicely.
So yeah, it's got a little bit of tail rocker using our very technical gate, and lots of nose rocker.
And nose rocker sort of from the foot and a half of the board.
But you know, we always say that a SUP surfboard needs a lot of nose rocker because it doesn't have any natural rocker in its shape.
Yeah, I think for myself as well, if I was to get on this board, I would sink it quite a lot because I'm sort of 85 kilos.
Yeah.
So I definitely would need that sort of quite pronounced nose rocker, I think, just to lift the front out.
So I think what we're saying is, although that nose rocker looks a little bit dramatic, it's probably needed to make this board work as well, and particularly in any surf, and obviously and in bumps. But cool to see it's got a bit of tail rocker there.
Yeah. It's still a bit back heavy with the handle. I'd probably carry it more rough around, but I have got long arms, so that does work. The side rail actually makes it quite nice to carry as well.
Nice.
You can hold on to the side rail.